Hello, children. Today we are going to discuss Class 8th, Chapter 1 of Geography. The topic is Endowments of Nature. Here we are going to learn about natural resources. The word endowment means resource given to us by nature. Whatever things we have got from nature, we call these things as resource. So, we can say that any object or thing which satisfy and fulfill our needs is called a resource. We need a table to study, and when you use it, it becomes a resource for you. We breathe oxygen, which is essential for us, and it becomes a resource. Likewise, all things around you fulfill some or other needs, and so they can be called endowments of nature. Now, let's go to the key aspects of topic. We are going to focus on specific points. The first one is meaning of resources and its different types or categories. Secondly, classification of resources or systematic arrangements of different types of resources. Third topic is usefulness or benefit of resources. And fourth topic is resource conservation or protection. So, what do you mean by resource? A resource are those things which satisfy human needs. It is a part of environment and is useful for welfare of human beings. Now, resource can be classified into two types or categories: natural resource and man-made resource. First is natural resource. It is obtained from nature and is useful for human beings. People have not done any effort to get it, but is freely provided by nature. Example: air, water, petroleum, which is a mineral and is already present on earth. The second type of resource is man-made resource. It is made up of human activities. It involves human efforts to develop such resource. For example, making of machines, roads, etc. These are not done by nature but are made by human efforts with the help of nature. Other than these two types of resources, there is another important resource, that is human resource. We develop, have knowledge, skills, and technology. We use it with ability. So, ability of people are called human resource. On defining it, human resource refers to number and abilities of people. By number in quantities means how many things human beings can do with such ability. For example, a scientist who is also a writer and a political leader has many abilities. So, he is having a developed human resource. When we enhance in the areas of education, health, and skills, we become a better quality of people. This helps in development of other resources. Now we can further classify natural resources on its different bases. That is, resources based on origin, based on utility, based on level of development, based on distribution, and based on ownership. Let us classify resource on different bases. First one we see is classification of resource on the basis of origin. We have two types of resources under it: biotic and abiotic resources. Biotic resources are that resources that are obtained from biosphere. For example, fossil fuel, plant products, etc. Abiotic resources are those that have come from non-living components of ecosystem. For example, wind, sunlight, water, soil, etc. Second basis of classification of natural resource is on the basis of utility. We use resources which can be renewed or it cannot be renewed again. It is divided into renewable and non-renewable resources. Renewable resources are those resources which can be used again and again, and its quantity present on earth is unlimited. For example, water, sunlight, air, etc. On the other hand, those resources which are present in limited quantity are once utilized, cannot be replaced by nature, and are called as non-renewable resources. For example, coal, petrol, natural gas, etc. The third classification of natural resource is on the basis of state of development, that is potential and developed resource classification. Potential resource are those resource whose entire quantity is not known to us. These are not used entirely at present. For example, uranium found in Ladakh is not known whether how far we are able to use it at present. It has still to explore further in future with appropriate technology. Developed resources are those resources whose quantity is known and are being used by us. For example, oil fields in Assam, alluvial soil is found in northern plains, which we are using it at present with available technology. Fourth basis of classification of resources is on the basis of distribution. Ubiquitous and local resources. Ubiquitous resource and localized resource. Ubiquitous resources are found all over the world. For example, air, sunlight, etc. Localized resources are found in specific or certain places. For example, copper mines is found only in localized places. Fifth classification of resource is on the basis of ownership, that is, individual ownership, community ownership, national ownership, and international ownership of resources. Individual resources are owned by private individuals. For example, houses, car, etc. Community owned resources are accessible to all members of community. Example, public park, playground, etc. National resources are resources which are under the control of a country within its political boundary. Example, all forest and wildlife are within a political boundary belongs to the nation. International resources are resources owned by and regulated by international institutions. For example, exclusive economic zone of open oceans are under international institutions. Now we move to another topic, that is usefulness of resources. Resource is useful to us in the following manner. A resource is a source of supply where benefits are produced. It can be material, energy, services, knowledge to produce the final benefit. Resource utilization means increase in power, wealth, functioning of system and well-being. Our next topic is conservation of resources. It involves the protection and wise use of natural resources. Sustainable development is needed. It means we should meet the needs of present without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their own needs. The principle of sustainable development are improved quality of life, conserving earth, reducing depletion of resources, caring for all forms of life, adopt responsible attitude towards environment, help communities to nurture environment. Let us conclude the topic by understanding that natural resource is the main source of our daily needs. They are limited and so we need to conserve them. So children, please do attempt the given assignment questions. Question 1. What is a resource? Question 2. Why is resource conservation essential? Question 3. Classify resources based on distribution by giving examples. Question 4. What is sustainable development? Write any 4 principles of it. Question 5. Differentiate between biotic and abiotic resources. Thank you.